I've been an Amazon influencer since 2022, and my earnings have kind of flatlined until I took the method that I'm about to show you seriously. It's the buy to review strategy or the investment product strategy. We're basically buying products on Amazon to create videos for and then hoping to offset the costs and commissions. Sounds pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that can make the difference between you losing money and making a lot of money. So we're gonna get into my computer. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna show you the checklist of things that I go through before making a buy, and you're gonna be way more confident and capable of actually making this work for you. Let's jump into my computer. Two quick things before we start. First, if you know me, you know that I'm a blogger first, a YouTuber second. So I do have a very long form blog post that distills everything that I'm about to share with you. Go check that out as well. I've linked to it down below in the description. Also, if you want to join me on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, I have a free school community. We go live, answer your questions. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of cool people. So let's get into the blog post. I'm going to use this as a framework. Like I said, I'm not a fancy video editor. I promise that the content is going to be worth it for you guys, but I'm not going to do a whole bunch of graphics. We're going to use what we already have here. Let's get right into it. Here's what you're going to learn: how to boost your Amazon influencer earnings through strategic purchasing, the anatomy of a good investment product, and the potholes that lead to bad purchases, what to expect when doing the buy to review approach, and then the number one tool that I use and recommend to boost your chances of success with investment products. Sound good? Also, guys, I have timestamps down below. You can skip over anything you want. If you want to skip to my actual product research process where I'm inside my screen, click down below, jump to that. I don't want to waste your time. If you already are sold on the concept, maybe you're already doing it, jump to that. But if you're new to the concept, please pay attention because this could be super helpful. Let's start with the pros and cons of the buy to review approach. First pro, complete control. You own your product pipeline now. You're not waiting on free samples. You're not limited by all the things that you have in your house. It's going to give you control so that you can actually create more videos, and not just more videos, but videos that have better earning potential. It's a very good feeling. Next, rapid growth potential. This is the method that if I were starting from scratch, I wouldn't even go and do the typical review everything in your house. I would start with this approach. I would focus on things that are definitely going to make money as opposed to doing hundreds of things and hoping some of them make money. Next, scalability. 99.99% of products aren't going to be a fit for the buy to review approach. With that being said, there are so many millions of products on Amazon that there's more buy to review opportunities out there than you could ever buy. So it is very scalable. It's just a matter of how much time can you put into it. And you can also outsource this process pretty easily, just not the video recording part necessarily, but you can outsource the research and stuff like that. Next, you get the opportunity to get really cool products that you might have been wanting to get but couldn't justify before. I did that with an e-bike. I did that with a flamethrower, a bunch of really cool stuff. I was able to say, hey, this actually is going to make money and I get to keep it. You can also sell the stuff that you get. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. The cons, this is the only way that you can actually lose money with the program. So don't do it if this is like your last hurrah to pay the bills. You owe the mob money and you have to pay them in the next 7 days. This is the one way that you could actually lose money in the program. So that is really why I'm making this video, because this is something that can help you make a lot of money, but if you do it wrong, you will lose money. Inevitable flops. You will still, even knowing everything I'm about to show you, you will still have videos that don't make money for whatever reason. It just happens. You need to approach this with the 80-20 mindset. 20% of your videos are going to make 80% of your sales. You're always going to have flops. The winners offset it at scale if you're doing it right. Okay, so don't do one buy to review and then give up, right? Don't do two and give up. Do at least 10 before you even have any sort of judgment on it. Okay. And then next, copycats. Like, people are going to spy on your storefront. When I make videos like this, people are going to go spy on my storefront. The joke's on them, because the videos that are important to me, I make the videos so good that people can't jump and beat me on them. We'll talk more about that too as we go. All right. Now, something important. If you guys follow me, you know that I don't like to sell you things that you don't need. If there's a free or cheaper option to do something, I'm going to always recommend that. That being said, with the buy to review approach, I think that you absolutely need a tool called Viral View. Viral View is a Chrome extension and web app that makes it possible for us to filter big amounts of data and see the important metrics that we need to make buying decisions. You can start for $29 a month. Use the coupon code EAM for 10% off. I would not do this method without Viral View. That just is what it is. There are other tools, but Viral View, in my opinion, for buy to review is by far the best. And here's why. First, the profit calculator. This makes it easy for you to see your break-even costs, to see the profitability of any item on Amazon. It's so robust. It considers so many different variables, and it's going to make you feel way more confident before you pull the trigger on an investment product. Next, we have the web app. The ROI tracker inside of there is phenomenal. It'll actually let you see the profits and losses for any product that you've purchased on Amazon or that you've deemed as a buy to review. This is amazing. One of my favorite quotes of all time is by Peter Drucker. He says, "What gets measured gets managed." This is how you measure it. Then you can manage it. You can decide what's working and do more of that. What's not working, do less of that. Tracking it is so important, and Viral View makes that possible. We all know that Amazon is not giving us great reporting, and it gets worse every week. This is a tool that is so valuable. Next, bulk product research. If you're familiar with like Amazon sourcing, Viral View is very similar. It lets us see data on big amounts of pages and add things like filters and data columns so that we can get the most important information as quickly as possible. You will not be able to go through each product one by one. It doesn't work. Without a tool, you just don't have what it takes to make this process work. Bulk research is so important, and Viral View makes that happen. We can see the important things like total influencer videos, upper carousel availability, if there's a creator connection, how many days are left, how much is it paying, are there any red flags? We'll talk about that. That is amazing. It's a new feature they added. Average video length, and then a lot more. Just anything that we need to make a good buying decision is going to be there. Next, competitor carousel spying. This is really an important part of the process, is seeing what your competitors are doing so you can decide if you can beat them on the carousel. We can see stuff like their thumbnails, when they uploaded, their last seen placement, all of that stuff. It's so valuable when doing this process, and Viral View makes it easy to see. And then we can see our own carousel placement. So that video that you made, is it in the upper carousel? Is it getting a bottom and a top? Is it not showing up at all? It's important to see that so then you can make changes. Like if it's not working, what is wrong? Should you redo it? Should you make a second video? That type of information is super valuable. That being said, carousel placement is kind of a soft science. There's variables that might change it, but not perfect is better than not at all. So if I can see that I have both carousel placements, usually that means I am getting them, right? So keep that in mind, but it's nice to see. You can check that at any time on your storefront. All right, now let's talk about my buying criteria. What are the things that I need to see before I'm comfortable investing in a product to review? First, I need there to be an upper carousel. I don't really care if it's full yet. I'm going to talk about total influencers later, but I need there to be one. In this example, you see that one has none. There's no merchant video in the listing, so there's not going to be any upper carousel placement. Most of the sales we make come from upper carousels. Bottom carousels will make some, but it's just not enough to justify a buy to review. Yes, I've had products that were profitable and they didn't have an upper carousel, but they are the rare exception, and they're definitely not something that I would ever be confident in buying, knowing that I was going to have to rely entirely on the bottom carousel. Next, I want to see a 30-day ROI potential. I want the cost to be offset within 30 days. So if it's a $50 product, I want to make $50 before 30 days passes. We'll talk about how you can see this with the profit calculator when we get into my computer. But if something's going to be longer than 30 days, I'm not really interested. That can change for you. If you're conservative, you might want to make it smaller, 20 days, 15 days. It's pretty aggressive. Or you can go longer. If you're okay with maybe taking the risk of it being a 60-day thing, by all means, go for it. But we need to make sure that, for me, we have some sort of guardrail there. And for me, it's 30 days. Keeping in mind that this is also including things like shipment time and time to actually create the video. We'll talk more about that as well. Next, competition strength. There's two types of buy to review opportunities, low competition and high competition. But I kind of want to know what that competition is. And there's several things that go into that. Total influencer videos and the length of the videos. Also, to a lesser extent, thumbnails and actual quality. We can spy on these things and we can make a better idea of whether it's worth it or not. Next, does it have an active creator connection campaign? And is there enough time left on it to recoup our money? To me, creator connection campaign is mandatory. You just make most of your money on creator connections. I make about 80 to 85% of all of my earnings with creator connections. So if there isn't a campaign or the campaign is ending before I can recoup my money, I'm probably not interested. Again, Viral View shows us this. One of the biggest mistakes that I think people make is they don't factor in that number of days left. That's why I love the Viral View profit calculator, because it actually does that for you. So you can't even make that mistake anymore. Next, the 60-day drop-off rule. Does it pass that? So that is my own rule that I created for myself. If it stops making money after 60 days, would it have been worth doing? So we want to recoup our investment within 30 days, but if it were to then just make money for the next 30 days, would that be enough money to justify making the video? And finally, are there no viral view red flags? I'm going to talk about my own kind of red flags here later, but viral view has their own system of red flags that will alert you to things that would cost you big time if you didn't think about them. Most of the things that I bought that didn't land had red flags that I missed. So these will actually literally pop up on the product and say things like there's 8 sellers on this listing, which is going to make it hard for you to actually make money on it because it's not a private label product. Or the campaign's been active for a long time and there's still 100% budget remaining, which means that that product's not profitable for other people, might not be profitable for you. All right, now time for the fun part. We're going to do a little product research here inside of Amazon. So first thing, you will need Viral View and you will need the Chrome extension installed. This is all going to be done via Google Chrome. We're going to start with a product idea. So what I recommend, and this is important, start with something that you need. Like if you have something that you need to buy anyway, like let's say that you need a new trash can, start there. If you're already going to spend money on it, why not try to find one that maybe makes some money? I'm not saying to go out and buy something that's not what you wanted or is not as good or doesn't do the job just because it can make money, but check first. Anytime I buy anything on Amazon, I do see if there's a buy to review option. Oftentimes there is. Some of my most profitable ones came from things that I just needed anyway. If you don't need something right now, what's something that you want? You can start there. Why not? If you want an e-bike, check some e-bikes, right? Something that you can maybe resell. Start from something like that, right? But if you don't have anything in mind, I have a tactic that I just call the ABC autofill search. So this is something I did in the SEO world. But you can just type in a letter, like let's type in the letter T, and then it's going to bring up all of these different things. And I can put in another letter. Let's do A. Okay. And so now we have a few things here. Let's try to find something that's in like the $50 range. So let's go to the letter F. Fan. Fans are pretty good. Floating shelves. Floor lamp. I like floor lamp. Let's let this load. And now we're going to talk about two things: filters and your display metrics. So we need to set those up, and we're going to let Viral View scan. It's going to start popping up underneath all these products. As you can see, they're all starting to load. What we need to do is on this little icon right here, we're going to click on it. And these are the things that you should have on. I recommend having score. So Viral View does a score from 0 to 100. That is not super important. I have products that have really low scores that do really well. But it is nice to have, especially if you're trying to do what we call the low competition play, because a low competition play usually has a high score. Red flags, love red flags. That's going to let us know to just avoid a product, right? CC percentage, does it have one? Really, I'm mostly looking at, does it have one? I don't care if it has 10. That doesn't really matter to me. Again, everything that matters to me is in the profit estimator. Days left, super important. Bucket. Bucket is something I haven't covered yet. Bucket's great because it will let you message the brand for a free sample. You can and should message brands for free samples even if you're going to buy the product. A lot of the times if I see something I'm like, that's not close enough to my buy parameters, but it would be great to have for free, I'll reach out. Why not, right? 30-day revenue, I like to see that. If there's no revenue, I'm out. Total influencer videos, I like to see that. Average video length, I like to see that. Top carousel, yes. Bottom carousel, turn that off. I don't really care too much about bottom carousel. Anything else in here that you want, you can have on. I like to keep it as minimal as possible. Rating comes into play only at the end. Like if I'm on the fence of a product and I see that it has a bad rating, I'm like, okay, that might end up getting more refunds that could offset the profitability, okay? Daily sales, 30-day sales, I like to see 30-day sales. Taking 30-day sales and the 30-day revenue, it gives you a good idea of what is happening, right? Revenue is going to be the actual dollar amount, and sales is going to be units. So that is really all that you need. Let's go ahead and save that. So now under each product, I'm going to see those things. And I can see all this at a glance, but what I need is to do the Viral View product view. This is going to show everything in a big list like this. And then to make this even further, this is going to be our next task, setting these filters. So for these filters, what I recommend is has a creator connection campaign. Like I said, that was one of my absolute deal breakers. It has to have a creator connection campaign or I'm out. 30-day revenue, I usually set this about 10,000. Again, I'm not really worried about the revenue. I'm worried about the profitability, but I usually don't find things that are profitable that do less than that. I've had a few, but I like to put that at about 10,000. TCM, that's top carousel merchant. I'm going to put that at 1 because I want to make sure I'm only seeing things with upper carousel. And then one thing that you might want to add is your max total influencers. It depends. If you're going for a low competition play, you might want to set that super low, like at 4, right? Something that has an open carousel spot still. But if you're okay with the high competition play, which I am, I like to see all of them. I don't usually put much in here. But let's go ahead and put that at like something in between. Let's do 50. Okay. And then I'll save that. And now it's only going to show those things that fit that criteria. And then right away, all these red flags, I'm out. That one has 3 sellers on the listing, 10 sellers, 4 sellers. So I've got this one at the top. And then I've got all of these down here. Next thing I'm looking for is days left. You can't do that as a filter, unfortunately. I think I'm going to hope that they add that soon. But for now, we just have to kind of do that ourselves. So anything in here that has too few days left is going to be out. Most of these are pretty good. This one has 55 days left. So what we can do now is over here where this little calculator is, that is our profit calculator. We can click on it and see if that product is going to make money. A couple things. Now that we're in here, let's talk about the profit calculator. You need to come into your calculator settings and set a few things up here. Break even goal, minus 30, so it's going to stay at 30. Content lead time. This is the time between shipping and actually making your video. So I usually do these like within the same day. Even if they're long, I'll spend however long it takes to get it and then edit it and make a good video. Some people take a couple of days, but I'm going to put that lead time. You always want to overestimate it instead of underestimate it, because if you overestimate, you'll just be surprised by it performing well. If you underestimate, you might not hit the actual numbers that you need to, right? So you can change that if you want, but I'm going to keep mine at about 4. Save that. Okay, and now we can see things like, is this profitable beyond 30 or within 30 days? Now, super important, we have 2 different things up here, standard and top carousel. Top carousel is going to be the actual top product, not just in the upper carousel, but the top one that plays right after the merchant video. That one's super important because a lot of our views come from it just automatically rolling into our video after watching the merchant video. Not everyone's clicking on our thumbnails. A lot of people are just watching the merchant video by default, and then it ends and they spill into our video. And then maybe they just leave and then they buy and then we get that commission, right? So this one actually is not profitable. Another thing to check is the attribution. This can change, right? This one actually was defaulting to a comparison. When I'm doing buy to review, I'm always thinking in pairs. I'm thinking, what can I do to make a comparison video? And that might start with, I already have a product that's performing well, let me buy one and then make a comparison video of those 2 things. When you have a comparison video that's tagging 2 ASINs that are similar, you can appear on both of those listings with that one video. And the conversion rates are better, and Amazon seems to be favoring those. It also is easier to make longer videos, which we know average video length now is a thing that Amazon values. So if you are planning on doing a comparison, you can choose that and do comparison to products, and it's going to boost your numbers up a little bit. This one is only estimated to make about $22.71 a month. So for whatever reason, that one is not profitable. I didn't really look too deeply at the numbers. It's probably just not doing enough revenue. Let's see something else. This one right here has 47 influencers. This one has 4, but has red flags. Let's see this one. This one allegedly is worth buying at standard attribution. 153 net profit. Let's check on, I'm sorry, at top carousel, it's estimated to be profitable. Standard carousel, this is going to be like your video that does okay, pops in and out of bottom and top. Not the same as top carousel. Be so sure that you're in standard or top carousel. Only do top carousel if you really truly think that you can make a video that is going to absolutely take that top spot. If not, you're going to overestimate your earnings, which means you're going to end up losing money. Okay, so we can see that that one is estimating to make about $15.56 per month. And then what's important down here, this will kind of give you an appreciation of how valuable Creator Connection campaigns are. After the campaign, you're going to go down to making $1.41 per month. Huge difference, right? So for this one, it does estimate it will make its money back in 12 days. I would then need to go a little bit further. So let's say that I like this one, right? And I want to consider doing it. Also, we need to make sure that the attribution percentage on this one's on single product. Okay, even as a single product, it could make money, right? So that one's good enough for us to look a little bit deeper. So let's go actually to the product page, 66 daily sales. Now what we're looking at is competition. This has the sales, but can we compete with the product? So the first thing that we'll look at, competition is broken down into two factors. You have total videos and you have average video length. And inside of average video length, I kind of lump in video quality, which is way more subjective. These two are just objective numbers that are what they are. So 374 helpful votes. That is a red or a green flag to me is when I see helpful votes. There's only one merchant video. That is also a green flag for me. Sometimes there will be 5 videos up there, which is crazy. And I don't think people appreciate how much that actually is going to take away from your sales. It would basically be like the whole upper carousel is already gone. Even though you can still have 6 below it, it's going to make it so it's much less likely for someone to spill into your video, which, like I said, is a huge thing. And also the length of the merchant video is a green flag for me, 37. They can be much longer than that, and that one's not. Okay, what I don't love is that the first video is super long. What I do like is that this one right here is super short, 25 seconds. They are very lucky, kind of disproving the, it's anecdotal, but that's kind of against everything that we know about Amazon and what they value. But yeah, that one is getting a lot of love. And then after that, I'm going to click on each video and actually like watch it. If I'm serious, if it's expensive, I'm going to actually go through and watch these. Maybe not the entire thing, but I can get a pretty good idea if they're good, if I can compete with them. So this one I'm kind of mid on. This guy has 73 helpful votes. Again, helpful votes are so important. If you see a lot of sales and no helpful votes, that kind of turns me off, right? That means that for some reason, people aren't watching it. Not every product is going to get the same amount of views. Not every product merits that type of deep research, right? This one, I think, has got a pretty good chance of getting views because it's a little bit complex. People want to see what it looks like. How is it hard to set up, right? And then also down here, just while we're here, this Ask Alexa, this is a great way for you to start on your script. These are the questions that Amazon thinks people are asking, and they maybe are asking. And we can answer those in our script, or we can use them also in our thumbnail. I'd put something like voice control, timer, and easy to assemble. Check it out, something like that, right? So for this one, not bad, no red flags. It's a maybe. It's, let's check again on the profit calculator, top carousel. If I were to be interested in making a comparison, that might beef up my interest. Again, if you increase the comparison, it's going to increase your attribution percentage. So this one's estimating at about $153 per month, recouping the cost in 12 days. Now, everybody watching this video, don't go out and buy this because you're all going to flood it with each other. Just use these tactics and take them with you, right? They do also sell these in a 2-pack. They have another one, square lamp. Just remember the one that we're looking at is that first one, right? Don't go into a rabbit trail and accidentally buy and tag the wrong one. So that's a good start. If I were going to do that, I could maybe look for another comparison. Like, let's say this one. Let's see if this one is profitable. I could be like, do you want the lamp or the tube? Right? This one estimates at $277. Again, that's at the top spot. So don't just assume that that's what you're going to get. And estimates about $34.51. But then let's come back into the attribution and make sure that is on. Yep, it is on comparison 2 products. So I could buy that, buy the other one, and then make a comparison video. And then I would make a video for each individually, and then I do a comparison video, and then I might sprinkle in, some vertical videos just to kind of add to my chances of owning multiple spots in the carousel. So that's a good start, right? Let's do one more. And then you just repeat this process. A lot of it's serendipity of like you just happening on a good product, right? So let's start with something that starts with W, whitening strips, weighted vest, water bottle. And again, since we're buying to review, let's think like what are things that people are going to watch videos for? I don't have success with supplements for some reason. They don't do very well for me. Fitness supplements, pills, that stuff doesn't really do very well for me. So I'm kind of looking at things that have like practical application and have some type of questions that people are looking for. So let's do like hot tub and see what it says. Hot tub vacuum, hot tub cover, hot tub filter. Let's do hot tub accessories. Assuming you have a hot tub. Even if you don't, you could still get away with making some of these videos. But let's see what we get here, and just see if there's a couple of other things that I can mention that are going to be useful. Also, if you want, you can save these. Like you can make an idea list. It's just for you. It's like comparison products. I don't have that, but if you want to save these to come back to later, you absolutely can. Let's go ahead and we will do the viral view product view. And we have a couple of things here. We've got this spa cleaner and a rechargeable cleaner, premium drink holder. Sales 16,000. All right, so there's just a little too much there. Let's see about this one. Top spot estimates that it would. Okay, so then I can go down kind of a little bit deeper rabbit trail. So I just was in hot tub accessories or whatever it was. Yeah, hot tub accessories. So now if I want, I could come into like pool maintenance kits, right? You can see these different breadcrumbs. And then I could do that. Or I could buy, let's see if the 5-in-1 has got anything. I could buy both of them and then compare it 4-in-1 versus 5-in-1. I probably wouldn't do that, but that's, on the table. Another thing we can do is we can come down here to customers also bought or bought together. So this would be something that you could maybe do as a video. Sometimes they're alternatives, sometimes they're just complementary. Typically if they're alternatives, that's going to be best. But yeah, that's something there. What we can also do, let's go click on pool maintenance kits. So for some reason, these pages don't show up with viral views. So what you have to do is when you click on that, you have to just click the search again. And now they'll appear. I wish I could get rid of this Amazon shopping. I keep checking to see if they'll get rid of it, and they never do, dude. All right, so we'll let that load. This is going to be a bunch of different pool maintenance kits. I don't know actually I don't see how these are maintenance kits. This feels more like just pool cleaners, vacuums. Okay, some of these are good. And again, I've seen a lot of people actually have success with these pool vacuums. And they do like 3 or 4 or 5 videos. All right, here we go. Cordless handheld, decent amount of revenue, pretty long video length, decent amount of time left. And again, now we'd be changing. We would be pivoting from a comparison video to that skimmer to a whole new genre, but that's totally fine. So that one estimates that would make it a little bit. And then again, that attribution keeps defaulting to comparison. So let's do that as just that. All right, and let's do the next steps, dig a little bit deeper. I don't see any red flags. I do see, let's make sure that we have an upper carousel. Let's go in here and just check a few things out. How long does battery, again, this is like prime script stuff. We'll talk right after this, we'll talk about making your videos to convert, and then I'll let you go. But yeah, so this one does have 3 influencer videos. It does have a top carousel. Let's see what those influencer videos are. Alex Media Creations. So there's 2 merchant videos. I prefer there to be 1, but 2's not that bad. They're both pretty short. Let's see what we've got here in terms of, he's got 4 helpful votes, so that's a good sign. This one's got 1. And then we can go a step further now and actually click on total influencer videos. And I mentioned this earlier, how we can spy on the competitors in the carousel. So we'll actually be able to see their thumbnail, the title, when they made the video, and then also their current placement. So I like to see that the top videos were made a while back. It lets me think that there's not a lot of competition up at the top. These ones are all relatively new. I can also find the age of the listing. This one might be one that is possibly going to be flooded soon, no pun intended, hot tub thing, but it's been around for a little bit. There was just a new video posted. And also another kind of green flag is if you notice a creator has made multiple videos over like an extended period of time, not right away. Some people just make multiple videos right away. Typically people don't make repeat videos for products that weren't making money. It's just usually not how it goes. A lot of times someone will have one that's making money, they'll make another video, so it's just kind of a signal that there might be something there. Okay, so this one's interesting. And again, if I wanted to, I could come in and try to find a comparison for it. Just keep in mind, biggest thing, standard carousel, probably live here unless you think that you can make that top carousel better. This one, if I were to make a nice video, maybe 5 minutes long, or if I were to make a comparison video that's 8 minutes long, comparing the two biggest ones, I could rank for possibly both of those, right? So that's kind of how I would go about that. This one, this one might have legs. And again, we're looking at total days left. 86 is plenty. I'm looking for, a minimum to recoup in that 30-day window. I kind of like the total days left to be, some people say 40. I aim for 60. But yeah, that's it, guys. Let's talk about one final thing. That is maximizing your video ROI. So when we're doing investment products, it's not like when we're just reviewing things around the house where we're just trying to get them up, right? That model doesn't really work anymore. We're actually trying to make videos that do convert. There's a degree, right? If you're going to spend a ton of money, you're going to want to put a ton of time and effort into it. You just want to make sure that you're putting in more time and effort than the competitors did. So if they have 2-minute videos, try to make it longer. Try to make a comparison if there are no comparison videos. Let's talk about the things to maximize your video ROI. Number one, speed to market. Don't rush the video, but do prioritize creating the video. Don't let it get dust. I admit when I do like free samples, a lot of the times if I know they're not going to make very much, I just kind of put them off. But don't do that with your buy to review. Let's remember, like we showed inside of the product estimator, it is calculating that lag time, and that is in our number for whether it's profitable or not. So if you end up taking twice as long as you thought, it might not be profitable anymore, right? Or it might not hit that 30-day goal. Next, front load value. This is just a good tip no matter what model you're doing in terms of your product pipeline, but front load the biggest questions. So if you see that there's like 5 big questions and there's one that's clearly obvious, right? Like, does this work with my iPhone? Answer that first. And then also front load like any edits or B-roll or anything that you're doing so that it kind of gives your video a little bit of credibility and it doesn't just look like a boring, video. A lot of people will see that, they'll go, oh, this person probably knows what they're talking about because they did more than just a boring talking head, right? Go long, make it longer than the competitors. That is just working really well. I don't love that because I don't think that longer means it's better. But when you go longer, I do think that Amazon is indexing our scripts and they're reading what is being said, and it's just helping us kind of show Amazon that we are answering more questions than our competitors. And then if we have that longer average watch time, I do think that that is being considered in carousel placement. So having a longer average watch time, I think, is causing us to ascend the carousel. Leverage comparisons, I've hammered that home many times. Think in pairs. When doing buy review, either start with a product you already have that's making money that you can then find an alternative to, make a comparison video, or just buy multiple of the same thing. Usually if you can find, they both need to be winners in terms of the profitability calculator and all of that and all of our criteria that we have. But if you can find a pair, do that. That's awesome. Recycle, and by recycle I mean cross post. YouTube, TikTok Shop, other Amazon Geos. TikTok Shop not so much, I know, but YouTube and Amazon Geos. If you can make a video that will perform well on YouTube, it will very likely perform well on Amazon. It's just, they really go hand in hand. So a long form YouTube style video about a product usually will do pretty well on Amazon too. And reinvest. I recommend reinvesting like 10% of your profits. For me, that's like $700 a month. A lot of people ask, how much do I spend? It's around there. I try to get it so I can have like one product every day if possible. But some days you might buy a ton of stuff and some days you might not buy anything, but do try to reinvest that money. It's totally up to you. It's not like there's any rules in this, like how much you want to make. Is this your full-time job? Is this your part-time gig? Totally up to you, but I do recommend reinvesting that money and not just earning it and then being like, okay, I'm done now. Because the ones that you make, they won't make money for forever. So you want to scale it to as big as you can. So that way, if you ever do inevitably take a break, it'll get lower, but it'll still be relatively high. Does that make sense? And then flip products whenever possible. There's no rules about not selling what you have. You can't sell it on Amazon as an Amazon seller. You're not supposed to do that. But do consider flipping it on Facebook Marketplace, selling it to a friend or family, or do something with it. That's why I love when I buy things that we actually need or actually want. It just makes it a little bit more fun. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, viral view is a big part of this video. Use code EAM for 10% off. And if you're serious about this, it's worth its weight in gold. Just a fantastic product that makes this all possible. Also, if you enjoyed this, hit like, share it, and be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.